Hello and welcome to Mercurius Being. I am Amy Jensen and I am here with your astro update for the Taurus full moon lunar eclipse, which will be exact on October 28th at 3:24 p.m. Central Time in the US. Here is the chart. And as always, depending on where you are in the world, it will be different. But what we have is the Sun, Mercury, Mars, all in Scorpio, opposed by the Moon and Jupiter in Taurus. And as you can see, we've got Mars through Venus up here in this part of the chart, in that part of the heavens. And then Uranus through Pluto, all on the other side. But really, primarily, we're just really going to emphasize Mars, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter Moon. All right, let's get started. So, the nakshatras, or the areas of the heavens, where these luminaries are. I have to have everything weighted down here because it's a little breezy out here today. So, okay, the Sun is in the area of the heavens known as Svati. And Svati means self-actualization. Sva means one's own. And this area of the heavens is ruled by Vayu, or the god of the wind, or prana, life breath. So fitting that we've got a little wind going here today. And the ruler of this area of the heavens is Rahu, or the north node. So there is the energy with Rahu as well, kind of this desire for success and wealth and finances. And this area of the heavens is about experiencing the full involvement, this is from Komilla Sutton, in earthly materialistic pleasures. But if we're too heavy on that side of the experience, we'll kind of end up feeling empty once we have this achievement and this material success, feeling of emptiness, alone, or dissatisfaction with achievement. So kind of this experience of the material world, but then knowing that ultimately that needs to be turned inward, and the experience of our own interior wealth. Scorpio rules the third chakra, the navel chakra, the Manipura, and that translates as the city of jewels. So there's this idea of going within, which also ties in with the Taurus lunation, opposition of Scorpio, of one's own self-worth and the wealth within. Okay, so Vayu rules this material world along with Agni, the fire element, and Surya, the sun. And again, the area of operation for Vayu is prana, or life force. So from Komilla Sutton's materials, the symbol she uses for this area is coral, like oceanic coral. It has a hard outer sheath, but it's self-propagating, and it lives in the ocean, which the coral affects the ocean, but the ocean also affects the coral. So there's this energy of, just like us humans, we affect our surroundings, but our surroundings affect us. So there's this interplay. All right, so from DiCara's work on the nakshatras, the symbol he uses is a new bud bending in the wind. So there's energy of going against the grain. So the strength of something new, a bud growing, a new leaf, a new branch growing against the wind takes a lot of energy. And it is symbolic of the effort that is needed to stand out and act as an individual. So again, that energy of life, air. And these are some quotes from different Upanishads. The first one, the individual soul. So individuality, again, the key word for this area of the heavens where the sun is in. So we're working with this energy of individuality and life force. The individual soul floats on the life air in the core of the individual. Another, without life air, we lose sense of I. This temporarily happens with deep sleep, unconsciousness, or in terrible shock, such as extreme high fever and during death. So these are all quotes from different Upanishads. And then the last one is the wise perceive the individual soul floating on 5 life airs. The true individual doesn't manifest until it is purified of contact with those airs. So the 5 life airs of being in this world, those required to function and thrive, but also the energy of purification and transcendence, which will also be present as we flip over to the Taurus end. Svati empowers the self to be an individual, but the risk of individuality is egoism. So we must always remind ourselves and remember that the powers and qualities that make us a unique individual are granted to us by the powers of the universe. So the connection of being affected and being part of the all, but being that individual part and expression of it. So the area of the heavens where Taurus and the Taurus moon is in is Ashvini, and it is ruled by the Ashvini Kumaras, which are the twin horse-headed gods, the 1,000, nope, not the 1,000 physicians, that's a different position, but the 2 physicians ruled by Mars. So there's, well, actually it's associated with Mars, ruled by Ketu or the South Node. But the energy of surgery and medical marvels and healing are symbolized by those deities. And let's just simplify, we'll go back to, so the area of the heavens where the moon is in, and this is from Komilla Sutton as well, symbolizes the beginning of the soul's journey into the earthly life. Ketu, or the South Node, signifies moksha, or liberation, ruling the beginning of life. So we have this Aries energy, right? Showing that the true reason of our manifestation here on earth is to find liberation. And again, going back to Svati and purifying ourselves of the 5 smaller life airs, individual life airs, going back to this beautiful place just being the garden of God and the school for the soul, right? So we're here to learn, to grow, and evolve. And this is heightened in these 2 positions of the sun and the position of the moon. So Ketu, the ruler of this space in heaven, acts like a Mars, okay? But more on the psychological level. Again, this is from Komilla. So the purity of Mars' action, which is courage and protection of humanity, is powerfully indicated. Okay, and the Ashvinis were twin sons of the sun, Surya, and they represent the transmission and the transmutation and the transformation from darkness to light. They herald a new dawn, a new beginning, a time where there is an intermingling of dualities, day and night, past life and present, future life and present, heaven and earth. And again, that darkness and light, which I don't think there's anyone here who will dispute that we're really working with duality. If you're on earth right now, the theme probably for the whole time of our existence is just balancing duality. That's kind of a bold statement, but it's pretty heavy, right? Okay. Balancing and transcending. So, excuse me, let's move on from the areas of the heavens where the luminaries are and where the lunation occurs to just some information about this Taurus full moon lunar eclipse. So this is closing the Taurus-Scorpio cycle, which began November 19th, 2021. So look back, November 19th, 2021, what was going on for you? Taurus is all about resources and values, power, wealth, self-worth. and it is an earth sign. It is about being embodied and enjoying this physical experience. It's about feeling safe in our bodies. And I'm filming this video right between the two eclipses. Last Saturday was the Libra new moon, Libra Aries eclipse, which was pretty powerful. Even without it directly touching a lot in my chart, it was like, oh, hello, this is powerful. And then next Saturday, October 28th, we'll have a little, it's like call and response. I'm getting like a musical term, like theme and variation, contrapuntal I'm getting. So it's like an answer, a little resonance, a little reverberation from last week's eclipse. But I say that it stands on its own. And as I said, it's finishing up this cycle of Taurus and Scorpio. So if you're a Taurus or Scorpio, or an Aquarius or Leo, or if you have any of those points and planets in your chart that have been getting hit over the last couple years, you might be breathing a sigh of relief as we move more fully into this Aries Libra energy. But we have one more little gong, a little stroke. I'm getting anyway, just a nice gong of the bell and having that resonance. And so allowing oneself to finish the Taurus Scorpio work that may have been started in November of 2021 and has been heightened over the last couple of years. And as you know, eclipses are charged lunations. So last week's eclipse was a charged new moon, and this is a charged full moon. So the solar eclipse, new moon last week, opened up portals. It opens up new beginnings, and it's a great opportunity for change and to commit to change. A lunar eclipse gives us the opportunity to see behind, to see into the dark and into the unspoken. It informs us of the not said but felt. So whatever's not said but really felt. Again, yeah, I'm all about the resonance today. It's like a tone or a drum. Even if sometimes you don't hear it, but you're like, can still feel it in your body, the reverberations. Okay, so we're feeling a lot with this one. It's a lot about feelings. It's a lot about emotions. So this full, total lunar eclipse, it's the most intense here because the Earth, we're on the Earth, we are the Earth, we are between the luminaries. We are in alignment with the sun, so we're directly blocking the moon. So the moon is full, shining brightly, and then all of a sudden it darkens. And you can imagine what this must have felt like, or felt like it augured in the past civilizations when one didn't know what was happening. But we do know what's happening, but we don't know what's going to be uncovered, right? So there are insights, there are awarenesses. We are getting a look into the Taurus moon, Scorpio sun, insights into motivations, which will be very scorpionic, your motivations and others, your motivations which you may own or you may not, or motivations or desires that we project. Like, I don't do that. Oh my God, they do that. That's a them thing. Not a, oh, me? No. Okay, so let's look. What desires, motivations are there? Just own them. Own them and work with them. That's the whole point of this whole dance, this whole school, this whole thing we call astrology. In my opinion, this is how I use astrology. It's like we uncover what's there, what's present, how do we work with it, and how do we come into greater balance and resonance. Okay. So things will be revealed, things from the dark. So with that revealing, with those revelations, with these awarenesses, there's an opportunity for letting go and releasing away from the darkness of unawareness, and really looking into what no longer serves each of us. It's like really seeing and feeling, more so feeling into what no longer serves us, and gaining a knowingness of the path forward. What actions need to be taken. You can see it, you can feel it. So once you see and feel it, you know how that is, each of us have behaviors. It's like, oh God, I see it. Okay, I get it. So then once we see it and feel it, it's an opportunity to do something with it, right? We get to see the path forward and we can do something with it. So as we see and feel and begin to be gentle with ourselves and with others as these realizations hit. Stay away from self-blame. I love it. The leaves are releasing all around today. Our fall has kind of been delayed here, as you can see, because I'm just wearing one layer here. But as the winds start blowing and it's just starting to cool, we're going to go from the leaves all around me to like no leaves pretty fast. So we're in a process of releasing. So releasing the leaves from the trees, releasing all of those things from ourselves. And as we do that, again, be gentle. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame others as they release. We are all doing the best we can. And it's hard to believe that. As a former teacher used to say, if other people could do better, they would do better. They're doing the best they can with the karma they're moving through. I'm doing the best I can with the karma I am moving through. So just knowing that, and it's really easy to say, well, sure, but they could do better. Just let it go, just like the leaves on the trees, and give them space and time, and give yourself big space and time, and the sense of earthy groundedness. And I'm going to transition into the aspects here. Saturn in Pisces is trining, has a harmonious flow to the sun in Scorpio. So there's this foundational energy of Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which is that form from formlessness. The water sign of Pisces is big water, the unconscious mind, the universal water, the divine flow, and it is supporting the scorpionic waters of the subconscious, the waters of the underworld of ourselves, the desires, the hidden of ourselves. So we're supported by divine foundation. So we have that support to really feel into, and we have the support from Saturn, which is that foundational support for feeling grounded in our bodies and in this embodiment. So moving into the aspects of this lunation, we have Saturn, we have Jupiter conjunct the moon in Taurus. So Jupiter is always an expansive energy. So we're really expanding into and exploring our embodiment and having the sense of, as we really expand into this total enjoyment and experience of the beauty of nature, the beauty of our own resources, our values, and our self-worth. So Jupiter heightens and expands, but sometimes it kind of has that nick feeling to it, like a little ting, where you are not valuing yourself or your self-worth, and it's like feel into it and use that scorpionic energy for understanding the subconscious patternings that we may have inherited or that we're just very resonant with. Okay, we're very triggered by. Okay, the blessings of that nick to our self-worth, or that triggering element, because that's an invitation to open that door, and if you feel safe and comfortable going into it and exploring it. All right, the sun in Scorpio is conjunct Mercury and Mars, but Mercury and Mars are super close. So Mercury and Mars are only 1 degree apart. The sun is 5 degrees and 6 degrees, but that's still close enough, especially during an eclipse. The same with Jupiter and the moon down here at the bottom. They're 6 degrees apart, but again, that's plenty of room. That's plenty of room for a lunation or an eclipse. And Jupiter and Mars are opposing each other. So there is a lot of energy possible. So as I go into the Mars here, just the expansiveness is good, but sometimes it might be a lot. So you might have to hold up a little bit. Mars is the ancient or traditional ruler of Scorpio, and it is all in this lunation, being that close to the sun and to Mercury. So with Mercury and Mars being this close in Scorpio, and then I'm really going to add the expansive principle of Jupiter opposing Mars in this, just turning the volume up, okay? So negatively, this turning up of the volume and the god of communication, Mercury, along with the god of fierce warrior energy. Negatively, saying what one feels a little bit too strongly, a little too sarcastically, barbed speech. However, this can clear the air. This can get a lot off of what is on your chest, what you may normally silence, but it might not be easy. So I'm just saying there's conflict. There could be conflict. There could be like really stepping your foot in something, but it ultimately it needs to be said, but it's not going to be as diplomatic as if it were in Capricorn or Libra. It just, it's might be a little more hard hitting and below the belt. So again, Scorpio ruling the navel. So like it might be a gut punch, okay? Don't let it be a sucker punch, and really try to not have it be a gut punch, okay? Just know that the energies are there for a lot of expression to come out. I wrote spiky exchanges, might also be another way of saying it, barbed speech, caustic, sarcastic. However, if we can use a little discernment and a little diplomacy, boundaries can be articulated more clearly. And using discernment with Venus, I'll get into that. There just could be, okay, I'm going to flip back to the Mercury Mars. There's an opportunity and an ability to articulate and communicate the depths of your feelings, also your vulnerabilities, your subconscious desires, also an insight into skillful manipulation or insight into manipulation tactics, and this could be on your part or it could be on the parts of others, okay? So again, you're going to feel it more on a gut level or just in your body or your awareness, perhaps more than it's going to be conscious initially, but then if you sit with your feelings and your gut, you will be able to articulate it and bring it into consciousness. And that's where I'm going to go here with Venus in Virgo, having aspects to this lunation and to Mercury. So Venus is going to lend her lovely airs of beauty and balance in the sign of Virgo, which is discernment. And I wrote, relieving the possible clagginess of this lunation, that wet earth, so the Taurus and the Scorpio together, the earth of Taurus, the water, river water, underwater energy of Scorpio could have kind of a muddiness or a muckiness. It's kind of like the earth out of which the muck below the water, out of which the lotus grows and blooms. Okay, so allowing Venus to help guide your communication and your explanation and exploration, so that out of the muckiness and murkiness we can get and produce a lotus. Okay. So let Venus elevate, clarify, help discern the info. And Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and she's in the sign ruled by Mercury. So there's a nice reciprocity going on. Let her lead you back. Let her lead you into and through your body. Virgo, again, is all about physical habits, daily lifestyle, service to yourself and to others. And Virgo rules digestion. So how are you digesting what is arising within you? And again, listen to your gut. Does it feel like manipulation? What is your gut saying about it? Taurus, using that Taurus grounded energy to feel safe in your body. Be out in nature. Get outside. Take a walk. And that Virgo energy of embodiment to have skill and discernment being in your body. What tweaks do you need to make so you're feeling good and your body is flowing well with the input of information that's coming in, with the influx of information that is coming in. So Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and it's squaring the nodes, Aries, Libra nodal axis of the moon. So it's not making any aspects to the planets, but I kind of got the vibe that it's kind of quasi-peregrine. And so at first I was like, well, Pluto's kind of silent at this lunation. But it does have this ongoing square to the nodes. And so it's kind of this background hum of transformation. But it's not as active as, I can't remember if it was last video or the video before. I was thinking, or I described Pluto as these big gears. I think it was the last one, like really big gears moving. So the gears are still moving, but it's almost like I'm feeling it more as like the low hum of mechanical machinations. How about let's go with that? So quasi-peregrine, or peregrine, just as astro.com describes it. So peregrine means a pilgrim. Okay, it's a planet that's unaspected, so it's kind of on its own. And Noel Till would say it's extra strong because it's not aspected. And Astro.com calls a peregrine planet, it could be likened to a suspicious stranger or an unusual, unsettling situation. So it kind of led my mind to like, oh, Pluto is quiet. Like, too quiet, right? So I just got the energy of this like underlying hum of manipulation, like a backdrop of manipulation, like, oh yeah, nothing to see here. Yeah, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? It's like Pluto sitting in the room like, I'm just sitting here. I'm not doing anything, don't pay any attention to me. But just no, I mean, this is just the energy of where we are in the world that we live in. And it's a learning lesson about manipulation, and everything is a learning, right? And again, bringing it back into, it's all good, right? It's all awesome even, because knowledge and awareness, having knowledge and awareness, it's powerful, right? Scorpio is a lot of subconscious power. That's what it's about. It's the power of the subconscious mind, and it's the power of that subconscious mind and those patternings and how they affect our consciousness, our conscious processing and processes. Okay? So I'm going to read the Sabian symbols for both placements, and then I will wrap it up here. Hopefully my wrapping up won't fly away, but I guess if they do, they do. So I'm going to start with the moon in Taurus we'll round her up to 6 degrees Taurus, and this from Lynda Hill's Sabian Oracle book. A bridge being built across a high, narrow gorge, and I will read the oracle information. There may seem to be no way of overcoming the distance between you and another, or the outcome or thing that's desired. Realizing the gulfs you face and doing something about any breaks in communications between you can lead to whole new possibilities. Building a bridge takes time, energy, and most often the help of others. It may be best to start working towards building a bridge now. Once it is completed, the dangers that the bridge spans are no longer of such great concerns. That is, unless the bridge is not secure. Failure to adequately span the gap may actually feel life-threatening. Looking back or down may bring on a sense of danger or instability. However, with this symbol, you can feel secure that the bridge will be there for you when you need it. Imagine yourself coming to the brink and going straight ahead, but don't look down. With creative thought, physical limitations can be overcome most of the time. Be careful not to get preoccupied or wound up worrying whether things are going to fail. Remember the saying, don't cross that bridge until you come to it. This basically indicates that you shouldn't concern yourself with difficulties until they arise. Don't place too much importance on the outcomes until you get to the other side. It may help to get some plans drawn up in reality or in your imagination. So keywords: overcoming distance and separation, endeavoring to build continuity, solving problems with creative solutions, bridging emotional chasms, spanning gaps, breaking down barriers, structures spanning distances between places or people, conquering time and space barriers, physical limitations overcome, taking one step at a time, avoiding looking down. Okay, the sign for 6 degrees Scorpio is a gold rush tears people away from their native soil. The Oracle, the actual promise of abundance and fulfillment from the gold rush is only really available for a few, although this depends very much on the gold that is being pursued. If the gold is worth the journey and the search, particularly on an internal level, this could be a very rewarding journey that may lead to a better life. Before you set out, you need to make sure you have an adequate map of the new territory that you're exploring. The choice is often between an established, fairly stable situation and an unstable, temporary, or risky situation. You may indeed strike gold, or you may find yourself exhausted and a long way from home. Learning to discriminate just what is and what is not possible will enhance your judgment of what's worth pursuing. Feelings of excitement and hysteria can be infectious, and you can find yourself heading off towards something that's not all it was cracked up to be. The desire to make easy money, to strike it rich, or the grab for fame can easily overtake people if ambitions get out of hand. Long-term relationships may become unpredictable and unstable when the symbol is around, as one or possibly even both of you are likely to run off for parts unknown just when you seem to be settling into an everyday sense of life. If you're both after the same treasure, however, this can be an incredibly exciting experience. Whatever the outcome, the trick is to enjoy the journey. Keywords: strong desires to move on, the longing and the search for the easy fulfillment of hopes and dreams, leaving one's native soil, having a cause or mission to pursue, leaving home, people, family, dropping everything to chase a project, pilgrimages, the search for riches, immigration and migration, listening to clues, the search for the Holy Grail, pursuing a better life. So, in closing, I invite you to go into the dark, go for the gold. And again, Scorpio rules the navel chakra, the city of jewels. Build a bridge, span the chasm. Maybe this is the chasm between your own mind and your own body, your own heart and feeling, and your awareness. Don't fear the dark. Let the quiet darkness envelop you. Explore it, embrace it, learn from it, All life is learning. Just keep uncovering, exploring all the riches and wealth that you have within. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your support, and have an interesting and lovely lunation. Namaste.